some people fell ill and they had to halt the injections that was recommended. Well, the decision to free this back up freed more than 300,000 doses to counties, cities, and hospitals who just need to get as many supplies as they can. The State Department of Public Health on Sunday urged the pause for this specific lot of Moderna vaccine because about half a dozen people had an allergic reaction to the this at one particular site. But the epidemiologist from the state says a safety review, scientific basis here, shows no reason to continue that pause so those shots can resume immediately.
Chicago is in the process of loosening many of its coronavirus restrictions on businesses. So places like the Shed Aquarium getting ready to reopen its doors for the first time in months.
We're still a few days, it could be a week away from this, but if progress continues in the right way, I think it is likely that we may be able to move all the way to the Tier 1 mitigation, which is when we are able to reopen indoor dining.
But for now, the city is in Tier 2 mitigation, so that means movie theaters, performance venues, and indoor recreation can reopen at limited capacity. Museums can reopen at 25% capacity. In addition, under Tier 2, indoor fitness classes can resume with 10 people or less.
Very excited to bring people back in safely, of course, and just feel a little bit normal again.
By the way, we mentioned the Shed Aquarium. It's set to reopen to the general public on January 30th after being closed since mid-November.
Chicago t-shirts have a big vote ahead of them. Alright, we're talking about the lottery here when it comes to lottery fever. We have one down, one to go.
No,
That's
sir.
there's one winning ticket out there. The last night's $730 million Powerball jackpot, the fourth largest in history. All we know is it was sold in Maryland, so lucky person or people. By the way, those winning numbers are on your screen. Just go on graphic 53, 60, 40, 68, 69, and Powerball of 22. If you do not have that winning ticket, though, there's another massive payout coming Friday night. Jackpot, $907 million. That is the third largest in U.S. history.
Well, we talked a little bit about this earlier. Social media definitely buzzing about the outfit that one senator wore to the inauguration yesterday. You can see here Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders came dressed for the cold weather, dressed warmly all the way down to his nipples.
What happened to Jack? What happened to Patrick?
Extra attention. So with that in mind,
I can't get it right there.
I didn't do it.
And a bobblehead has been created. The bobblehead Hall of Fame.
I'm gonna slow down.
This bobblehead will show an image of Sanders sitting on a folded chair, as you see there, wearing the outfit that he wore to the inauguration.
What else was that out of
So
for?
the individually
Put my green screen.
bobbleheads are expected to be available in May. They will cost you $25 each. Love that. And actually, I really enjoyed, I know yesterday, you really need to focus on what's happening when it comes to the political process, but I think a lot of people enjoyed looking at all the outfits and just taking that in as well, Bernie included.
It's one of those things that there's no political side to. You just enjoy fireworks.
Again,
that was all really cool. So the Poet Laureate.
Again,
favorite part.
very
good job.
Absolutely. All right, Lisa, talk about today as folks head out the door. What's it going to be like?
Very cloudy starting off the day today, possibly even a couple sprinkles if you're in Kentucky, Tennessee, and the Boot Heel. A lot of that rain, though, continuing to move off to the east. What we're tracking, though, is a thinning area of clouds in our northern counties, which is why temperatures are dropping into low 30s here, around 38.
I think I got an idea.
Most of the rest of the heartland, though, still sitting in the upper 30s and low 40s, and that's all thanks to those clouds, keeping many of us in more mild temperatures starting off the day. Now, even though the clouds will be around, there will be some peaks of sunshine, especially the further north you are. If you're in Carbondale, areas near Perryville, Mount Vernon, Harrisburg, yes, you will be seeing more sunshine. The rest of us have to hang on to more cloud cover, but everyone getting into the 50s by the afternoon hours. That's about 10 degrees above average. So even
I've got an idea.
might not exactly be what we want it to be. We really can't say it's too bad because
I'm gonna move my gaming chair out of the way.
pretty good for January.
I'm gonna turn.
Go for a walk. Take the dog for a walk today. I might do
Yeah, you should do that after, though, you watch Heartland Buzz coming up on Facebook in just a couple of minutes.
This around.
Get you updated. See you a little bit later.
And then
Closed captioning is sponsored by Pioneer Manufactured Homes,
back.
quality custom-built manufactured homes dealer. We met in high school.
Is that him?
Yeah. Why do I even need a phone call?
It was all explained in the
it's
I'm
basically
giving
what
a kidney. Nobody said there was
I have to do.
She'll do fine, thank you. Assuming she's not drunk, or in jail, or offering her kidney to some other guy.
Be positive. Watch tonight or stream anytime on CBS.
Result to see. When you think Chris Offenberg keep Hyundai, Chris is kicking off the new year with super low payments on
It's right here, but
think the 2021 Sonata, only $138 a month.
Yeah.
The Elantra is only $159 a month. And the Hyundai Tucson, the right-sized SUV, is only $198 a month. And we're buying cars at ChrisWantsCars.com. Chris is kicking off the new year, and your keys are waiting at Chris Offenberg Cape Hyundai.
Advantage Offenberg.
Why do more people trust Baptist Health with their hearts? It's because we put you at the center of everything we do. From our treatment innovations and skilled teams who deliver care that revolves around your unique needs, to our full-circle approach that keeps us by your side at every step. This is heart care that helps you
turn this
return
off.
to the things your life revolves around. Because this is heart care centered on you.
Dutch Enterprises is excited to introduce you to the luxury bath of Southeast Missouri. Now you don't have to wait a minute longer to get the bathroom of your dreams. Luxury Bath has a unique system to transform
Yeah, I'm having trouble with it.
easier and more affordably than you ever thought possible. Each bath or shower is custom made right here in the USA and professionally installed at a fraction of the cost of a full bathroom remodel. The result? Right now,
I'm talking about the green screen. What if I'm using my
Call Dutch Enterprises and Luxury Bath of Southeast Missouri today.
If your credit card debt is out of control, if you're in over your head in monthly payments, there's a secret the credit card companies don't want you to know. If you have more than $10,000 in credit card debt, you have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. That's bad news for the credit card companies, but it's great news for you. We're Credit Associates, and we're offering you free information on how to completely resolve your credit card debt with a monthly payment you can afford. To see how much you can save, call now. 1-800-928-2875. Don't delay bankruptcy. Don't consolidate. Give us 10 minutes and we can save you thousands. After all, we depend on your success and offer a guarantee so there's no risk to call. Credit Associates. Live better, debt-free. Find out how easy it is by calling now. For the secret the credit card companies don't want you to know, call Credit Associates now and see how much money you can save for free. Call 1-800-928-2875.
Good morning to you and welcome to CBS This Morning. It's Thursday, January 21st, 2021.
That's
I'm
upside down.
with Anthony Mason and Tony DeCoble. President Biden starts his first full day in office pushing for unity after a big day of celebration and tradition. One of the highlights of an inauguration that showed the strength of our democracy.
No, he's doing that.
Work begins with the rollout of executive orders and actions, but he's already facing pushback from Republicans. We'll talk to his new press secretary, Jen Psaki, of vaccine doses at one of the 10 times in the pandemic. For help us a look at the new phenomenon, vaccine tourism. And we talk with Amanda Gorman, the young poet who captivated the inauguration with her courage and conviction.
She did. She was knocked out from first. Here's today's eye-opener. It's your world in 90 seconds.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Constitution of the United States. So help you God. So help me God.
The United States officially has a new commander-in-chief.
Joe Biden now the 46th president of the United States.
We celebrate the triumph not of a candidate, but of a cause. The cause of democracy.
Hours after his inauguration, President Biden signed 17 executive actions, many of them reversing Trump's signature policies.
Former President Trump held a farewell ceremony at Joint Base Andrews where he did not acknowledge Biden by name.
I hope they don't raise your taxes. But if they do, I told you so.
A number of
states are reporting that they are running out of vaccines.
Let's set aside politics and finally face this pandemic as one nation. One nation.
Democrats now officially have control of the U.S. Senate. Vice President Kamala Harris swearing into almost 3 new senators. All that, Bernie Sanders becoming the source of a lot of new memes as he showed off his grumpy chic look. People are loving your gloves.
In Vermont, we know something about the cold.
All that matters, 22-year-old Amanda Gorman joined the ranks of Maya Angelou and Robert Frost as the inaugural poet laureate.
It was always light. If only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it.
On CBS this morning.
Lighting up the sky in Washington, D.C. to welcome a new administration to the White House.
This morning's Eye Opener is presented by Progressive, making it easy to bundle insurance.
Watching that sure did look pretty, didn't it?
Really did. It really did. I mean, and what a way to end it with fireworks and Katy Perry. And we were all there yesterday in Washington.
I know. We saw the troops. We missed the fireworks. I'd already gone home. But the level of exhaustion and the opportunity to reset here, I think, is really, really eye-opening. And I think they made the most of a very challenging situation, both in terms of the virus and security.
Even the doorman, when I was leaving today, said, I feel lighter. I go, I think a lot of people just feel lighter. There's no reason to feel lighter. And that's what we begin. Welcome to CBS this morning. All this pageantry shows in the world. How the peaceful transfer of power in America remains a powerful symbol of freedom and renewal. So we're going to start with Weijia Zhang. She's at the White House with the new president's path forward. Weijia, it was such a day. What a night. I'll bet this president is not sleeping in. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you, Gail. President Biden urged Americans to end what he called an uncivil war. He spoke really bluntly about all the problems wrapped up in it. In his first act as president, he held a moment of silence to honor more than 400,000 people in the U.S. who have died to COVID-19. But there were so many moments of joy, too, as the celebrations went throughout the night.
As it has for more than 200 years, America once again displayed a peaceful transition of power. An epic fireworks show capped off the historic inauguration.
We've learned again that democracy is precious. Because of you, democracy has prevailed.
Newly inaugurated President Joe Biden addressed the nation last night from the Lincoln Memorial.
There isn't anything we can't do if we do it together.
The nighttime celebration brought together musical performances, tributes to frontline workers, and a taped appearance by 3 former presidents.
The fact that the 3 of us are standing here talking about a peaceful transfer of power speaks to the institutional integrity of our country.
We will be available in any ways that we can as citizens to help you guide our country forward.
Mr. Biden becomes president as the nation navigates several crippling crises, which he noted in his inaugural address.
We face an attack on our democracy and on truth. A raging virus, growing inequity, the sting of systemic racism, a climate in crisis. America's role in the world.
The president built his about 21-minute speech around what he sees as the solution, unity.
My whole soul is in this, bringing America together, uniting our people, uniting our nation. And I ask every American to join me in this cause.
Just 2 weeks earlier, pro-Trump rioters attacked the very spot from which he spoke, a fact President Biden tackled head-on.
We must end this uncivil war that pits red against blue. And I promise you, I will fight as hard for those who did not support me as for those who did. I, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., do solemnly swear.
The president took the oath of office with a 128-year-old family Bible that he has used many times before. having served as a Delaware senator for 36 years and vice president for 8. Vice President Kamala Harris made history as the first female elected to the position and the first Black and South Asian woman too. So help me God. So help me God. The theme of bridging divides ran through the program, poet Amanda Gorman stunning the crowd with her original work.
For there was always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it.
The traditional parade route from the Capitol to the White House was only lined with police and service members, but the Bidens walked the last part of it so the world could see them arriving at their new home at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue.
And when President Biden made his way to the Oval Office, a letter from former President Trump was waiting for him on the Resolute desk. President Biden says he wants to keep the contents private for now, but described it as generous. This morning, he and Vice President Kamala Harris will participate in a virtual prayer ceremony that will be streamed nationwide. Anthony?
A lot of people would like to know what's in that letter. We should thank you. The new president got straight to work in a partially revamped Oval Office, signing a series of executive orders and actions. He's expected to sign 10 more today as part of an aggressive new effort to control the pandemic. Our senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe has the details. Ed, good morning.
Good morning, Anthony. Those executive orders are designed to expand access to testing and to vaccination programs across the country. And in another sign of how things are changing this morning, the new White House Chief Medical Advisor, Dr. Anthony Fauci, addressed the World Health Organization, a group the United States is set to rejoin. His remarks came exactly 1 year to the day of the first confirmed case of COVID-19 in this country. President Biden's new nationwide COVID strategy includes getting 100 million vaccines into the arms of Americans by the end of April and safely reopening schools in the next 100 days. The Biden administration plans to set up vaccine centers at stadiums and community centers and to deploy federal personnel to help administer shots. Overall, Mr. Biden is expected to sign 10 executive orders today that, among other things, require mask wearing on planes and trains and establish a health equity task force focused on racial disparities. Mr. Biden and his staff got straight to work on day one.
I thought it was the state of the nation today, no time to wait, get to work immediately.
In a redecorated Oval Office, the new president signed 17 other executive orders and actions, mostly rolling back President Trump's signature policies. They end the so-called Muslim travel ban, cancel the Keystone XL pipeline permit, and hold funding for the southern border wall. The U.S. will also rejoin the Paris Climate Accord.
These are just executive actions.
The administration is focused on setting a new tone.
We're going to be judged whether or not we restore the integrity and the competency of this government.
And White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said there would be a return to regular briefings.
When the president asked me to serve in this role, we talked about the importance of bringing truth and transparency back to the briefing room.
Hello, Kathy.
President Biden also made his expectations clear to more than 100 new staff during a virtual swearing-in ceremony.
If you're ever working with me and I hear you treat another colleague with disrespect, talk down to someone, I promise you I will fire you on the spot. On the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts. Everybody is entitled to be treated with decency and dignity. That's been missing in a big way the last 4 years. I'm going to make mistakes when I make them. I'll acknowledge them, and I'll tell you. And I'll need your help to help me correct them.
Also this morning, the Department of Homeland Security is starting a 100-day moratorium on deportations and ending the Trump-era policy of requiring non-Mexican asylum seekers to stay in Mexico ahead of their court hearings. And an example of how the new president is re-engaging the world, the White House says that his first call to a foreign leader will be to our neighbors to the north. He's scheduled to speak with Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau tomorrow. Tony?
All right, Ed, thank you very much. In our next hour, we will talk with White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki about the president's agenda. But for now, let's talk about the Senate, now controlled by Democrats. They confirmed the first of President Biden's cabinet nominees last night. Avril Haines will be the new Director of National Intelligence, the first woman ever appointed to that position. Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill 4th, where the nominee for Transportation Secretary will have his confirmation hearings this morning. That's Pete Buttigieg. Nicole, what do we expect to hear?
Well, Tony, Pete Buttigieg will vow to work with Congress on issues like safety and infrastructure, but the pressure is on to quickly confirm the president's nominees. Now the Democrats have the advantage.
A changing of the guard in the U.S. Senate.
So help you, God. Congratulations.
Democrats took back the majority as Vice President Kamala Harris swore in Georgia Senators Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff and her own replacement.
The chair lays before the Senate 2 certificates of election for the state of Georgia and a certificate of appointment to fill the vacancy created by the resignation of former Senator Kamala D. Harris of California. Yeah, that was very weird. Okay.
With both chambers and the White House and now in Democrats' control, party leaders have not indicated when an impeachment trial for former President Trump could begin, instead appealing for unity.
The Democratic majority will strive to make this important work bipartisan.
Our country deserves, for both sides, both parties, to find common ground.
But the president's policy agenda may not be as widely embraced, from a new immigration package to a COVID relief plan. Republican Senator Mitt Romney is among those balking at the $1.9 trillion price tag to deliver new aid to struggling Americans.
We just passed I think a program with over $900 billion in it. I'm not looking for a new program in the immediate future.
Lawmakers are also at odds over whether to grant a waiver to defense nominee Lloyd Austin. The retired general needs the exemption since he's only been out of the military for a few years. The House is trying to fast-track a vote on it today to expedite his confirmation, but some are opposed, even though these types of waivers have been granted before. Gail?
All right, Nicole, thank you very much. The latest coronavirus numbers show the huge challenge facing President Biden on the pandemic. Yesterday, U.S. officials reported another 4,200 deaths, so that brought the official death toll to more than 406,000 people. That's 1 year to the day since we learned of the first COVID-19 infection in this country. Think about that for just a second. So efforts to slow the spread are starting to hit a wall, with some states running out of vaccine doses. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, is in East Lansing, Michigan, with more on this story.
Good morning. We are at Michigan State University. This is where they do livestock shows and rodeos. But 3 times a week, they drive people through to get them vaccinated. They'd like to add a 4th and 5th day, but they don't have enough vaccines to do that. And that is not only the story here, but it's the story in other places around the country, with officials saying, we've got the people, we've got the logistics ironed out. Just send us more doses. As vaccination sites get bigger and busier around the U.S., more elected officials are saying the same thing to the federal government.
Double, triple what you're sending us. We're ready to provide the vaccines.
That's the Detroit mayor, Mike Duggan. He says he has the full capability to get his city fully vaccinated in 3 months, but he's just not getting enough vaccine to do it.
We've got the convention parking structure where we can handle 25,000 vaccinations a week, and right now we're scheduling 6,000. We have Pfizer right up the street in Kalamazoo, and they tell us they've got vaccines the federal government hasn't purchased, but their agreement will let them sell them to the states.
So far, only 22 states and the District of Columbia have used more than half of the doses they've received. But remember, both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines require 2 shots. And to make sure they have that second shot set aside, some officials are halting new vaccinations. That's exactly what happened at Baptist Health in Miami. They canceled all appointments for their first vaccinations because their expected allocation did not arrive this week. In San Francisco, officials say they're going to run out of doses today. In New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio says they have the capacity to vaccinate 300,000 people a week. But they're going to begin to run out of doses today, too.
We've had to tell 23,000 New Yorkers who had an appointment this week that they will not be able to get that appointment for lack of supply.
Schwartz was one of those who lost her appointment. Schwartz is a high school administrator in the Bronx.
It creates anxiety and maybe even a little bit of sense of panic. I don't quite understand scheduling appointments for which you didn't have doses.
Fair point, right? One bit of good news, the territory of Puerto Rico says it is administering 100% of the doses it receives every week from the federal government. Back here in the state of Michigan, where we are this morning, you heard the Detroit mayor say Pfizer's right up the road. Pfizer could sell extra doses directly to the state of Michigan, but apparently the federal government prohibits that. According to the mayor, we reached out to Pfizer, but never heard back. Anthony, the Biden administration has said next month they will start shipping vaccines directly to community pharmacies around the country.
That's so frustrating, David. Thank you. Anti-police demonstrators greeted the inauguration of President Joe Biden with violent protests in the Pacific Northwest.
Hey, Matt,
They burned an
what'd you do on this
American
computer
flag and broke windows.
I didn't do anything on the computer. I was asleep. I was playing Dragon City last night. Yeah, it's just an app, a free game. You know the PIN number on this? My PIN number? It's just James. That's my PIN.
Sorry to report that a helicopter crash in western New York has killed 3 National Guard soldiers. The National Guard says the Black Hawk medevac chopper went down south of Rochester last night during a routine training mission. Witnesses report that they heard sputtering sounds and saw the helicopter flying low to the ground just before it crashed in a field. There were no survivors. Officials have not revealed the names of the 3 troops who died. The local sheriff there, though, is calling them great Americans.
Youth poet laureate Amanda Gorman is being praised this morning for her poise and her powerful words at the inauguration. Ahead, we'll ask her about her plans to reach even greater heights in the future. She's certainly going places. But first, it is 7:18. Time to check the local weather.
Showing you this live shot from Simo and Cape Girardeau. Lots of fog out there. Temperatures are actually cooling as some clouds are thinning and light winds, allowing fog to form. So plan for some quickly reduced visibilities, especially if you're in our northern and northwestern counties. Temperatures, though, the further south and east you are, warmer since there's a lot of clouds. Upper 30s, low 40s are sitting around. Now, we will all see mostly cloudy skies today. Some sunshine in our northern areas in southern Illinois with temperatures in the low 50s.
Pain hits fast, so get relief fast. Only Tylenol Rapid Release Gels have laser-drilled holes. They release medicine fast for fast pain relief. Tylenol Rapid Release Gels.
At Empower Retirement, we help you open doors that get you ready for everything that lies ahead. Because your financial wellness is what matters most. Behind every door is an opportunity to save for life's moments.
So proud of you.
These are your goals.